everybody. Before we start tonight's meeting, I want to announce that Jason Chernoff has joined the Town of Princeton as the Manager of Recreation and Cultural Services. Jason has 25 years experience as a municipal civil servant employee. For the last 10 years, Jason was with the City of Salmon Arm. The last 6 years, he was the Supervisor of Parks and Recreation for the city. Jason has a post-secondary education in the field of recreation facility management. He also holds provincial certification as a refrigeration operator and pool operator level 1 and 2. One of Jason's many career highlights is that he was very instrumental in the Salmon Arm winning of the Communities in Bloom Award. That's excellent. Welcome to the team. Thank you.
Welcome, Jason.
Okay, and I think that puts us close enough. I'd like to recognize that we are in the traditional territory of the Upper Similkameen Indian Band, and I will call the meeting to order. Adoption of the agenda. Recommendation that the council adopt the September 3rd, 2019 regular meeting of the council agenda. Councillor Gould, seconder. Councillor Willis, heirs or omissions, additions. All in favor? So moved. Adoption of the minutes. Recommendation that the minutes of the August 6th, 2019 regular meeting of council be adopted. Councillor Elliott, seconder. Councillor Gould, heirs or omissions. All in favor? So moved. Thank you. We have no petitions or delegations tonight. We have no unfinished business. Staff reports. 6.1, Arena Concession Lease. We have a recommendation that council award the concession operation lease to the Princeton Minor Hockey and Princeton Posse organizations for 1 year trial period with the possibility of a 3-year extension after successful review. Yeah, you can go if you want. Yeah, okay. So, do we have a motion to that?
I'll make that motion.
Councillor Gould, seconder. You're the only.
I guess I'm the only one.
Councillor Elliott, any comments or questions?
Yeah, one question. I'm pleased to see that this combination of the two groups have stepped forward. I'm just concerned about, do we know if they will have staffing to run it consistently? Because I know that's been a problem in the past with private enterprise. And I know that volunteer organizations are usually gung-ho in the beginning and sometimes lose their steam. So I'm just kind of curious if we have heard anything related to that.
I've had a verbal discussion with these groups, and it sounds like they want to do a bit of a hybrid model. So it'd be, some of it might be contracted out and some of it might be staffed in-house. The ultimate goal is to generate as much profit for the nonprofits as possible. They felt that this was the best way.
Okay. That satisfies me.
Any further questions?
I was going to ask, so it is in a sense completely nonprofit then?
Yes.
Perfect.
Yeah. Well,
They were the benefactors
yes,
to a portion
right.
of it.
Yeah, that's correct.
So will that percentage remain the same, or will it just?
No, it'll be a totally new contract because what we were doing is we were collecting the rent and then turning it back to them. And in this case here, we'll probably just take a step back and allow them to just manage it themselves.
Perfect.
Yeah.
How it was ran for years. So
Yeah.
hopefully, like Councillor Elliott says, the community backs it too, and that they get the volunteers. That'd be nice to see.
Okay, I'll call the question. All in favor? So moved. Thank you. Okay, 6.2, Overwaitea. Oh, come on back. I forgot about you. I'm in a hurry. Overwaitea Fencing. Recommendation that council award the replacement of the fence around the old Overwaitea site to Right Way Fencing Incorporated for the amount of $8,915.87, including GST. Councillor Willis, seconder. Councillor Gould, questions or comments?
The fencing in that rough a shape, is it?
Yeah, it's falling apart, yeah. Any other questions? Call the question. All in favor? So moved. Thank you. 6.3, Bylaw Status Report. Recommendation that council accept the Bylaw Status Report as information.
So moved, Mr. Mayor.
Councillor Elliott, seconder. Councillor Willis. Any questions, comments? We have the bylaw officer here to
Yeah.
answer any questions. No?
Does he want to speak to it?
Would you like to speak to it?
Yeah.
I think it's a really impressive report. Thank you for it. I like to see those numbers in black and white. It's good to see.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we're still working on bylaws and fixing. Yeah, for sure. I think
Every
that'll
day.
be an ongoing
Challenge.
thing for sure, yeah.
Call the question, all in favor? So moved. 6.4, speed hump installation. We have a recommendation that council approve the installation of speed humps on Auburn Crescent, Lapworth Street, and Carina Avenue. Motion,
I'll make the motion.
Councillor Gould, seconder. Councillor Elliott. Questions, comments?
Jamie's not here.
The CAO can speak to any questions.
Perfect. Just, when we've tried in the past to slow the speed on Auburn Crescent, people would just go around it. Will that be taken into consideration?
Yeah, so this is basically the width of the street. I mean, if someone really wanted to avoid it, I guess it's possible, but really this is an attempt. Council, I know, is very concerned with, child safety, walking to school and whatever. So this is a direct response to that. There's 3 areas that we've identified that we would like to try and slow the traffic down. These are not your traditional speed bumps, these are speed humps. And so they're a little bit different and a little bit wider. And so they seem to be much more effective than just a speed bump.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm just hoping that they don't wreck people's property trying to go around it,
Yeah.
which is what was happening on Auburn Crescent. We were getting complaints before.
This is a first level response, and if it requires something more, we'll be glad to do it.
Perfect.
So,
But I think it's a reasonable solution and it doesn't look to be
yeah.
too costly.
So there's only 2 all the way down Carina? That's quite a long
Yes,
street.
yeah. I think in total it'd be there would actually be 3 by the time you get there. So, yeah, if I remember
Yeah,
right.
Lapworth.
Yeah.
Any other questions? Comments? Call the question, all in favor? So moved. Thank you. 6.5, 2019 Princeton Municipal Tax Sale. Recommendation that council authorize CAO Lyle Thomas or a designate to bid for the Town of Princeton at the 2019 tax sale in accordance to section 648 of the Local Government Act, and that up to 50% of the current general municipal assessed value of each individual property may be bid.
I'll make that motion.
Gould, seconder. Councillor Willis beat you to it. Any questions or comments? Okay, all in favor? Thank you. We'll move on to section 7, council reports, and we will start with Councillor Willis tonight.
It was been a little slow month, but I had a meeting with the community force with Mr. Mayor here the other day, and like I said, I thought it was a great meeting, and a couple changes that are, I think, that are beneficial to us and the mill and everybody, and so I think it was a really good meeting.
Perfect, thank you. Councillor Gould.
I don't have a lot to report. I just wanted to announce tonight that I'm a first-time billet mom for the posse. Because I let my boy go yesterday. And I was rushing in because I was just meeting the family. They're from Alberta. So it was like, hi, yeah, I promise I'll take good care of your son, but tonight I gotta leave. But-
Excellent.
So, new things on the horizon.
Excellent. Thank you. Councillor Elliott.
Well, my month was not quite that quiet. I attended a number of regular meetings, Princeton Museum, Princeton Healthcare Steering Committee, and the PXA. I had some additional meetings, Community Health Center Planning meeting, PXA site inspection. I also attended a lunch meeting with most everybody else in the room, with BC Greens, Brian Safaric. Out-of-town meetings, I went to Penticton for a primary care workshop follow-up. On August 8th, I went to our sister city, City of Tonasket, and I met with Councillor Jensen Sackman and Mayor Dennis Brown to discuss the sister city relationship. Both sides agreed that we would form committees to communicate and plan future joint cross-border activities. The members of their council are quite excited about resurrecting or putting some more life into this relationship. And August 13th, I was a guest speaker during Heritage and Culture Week at the Princeton Museum leading up to the Princeton Traditional Music Festival. I did a presentation titled History of a Small Town Newspaper, where I spoke about the Similkameen News Leader, and that is my report.
Thank you. Okay, I'll start on the 13th of August. I attended the workshop in Merritt put on by the provincial government about the future of the forestry sector in BC. It was an interesting meeting, to say the least. It was stakeholders in the industry, so there was representatives from like Finning and everybody. There was municipalities from Princeton Regional District, our regional district, and Thompson Nicola. Merritt was there, and then we had loggers, we had truck drivers, we had mill workers, we had everybody there. And when we went, we weren't 100% sure what we were going into, and it turned out it was more of a brainstorming session. The province is looking at a revitalization of the Forest Practices Code, and they were looking for input from stakeholders, I guess, is the way they were looking at it. So they were doing 3 of these across the interior. They'd already done some with other stakeholders, and now it was our turn. And so we'll see where that falls when it falls. So it was an interesting day. On the 15th, I attended the RDUS board meeting, and then later that afternoon, I believe that was when we had the museum meeting.
Yes.
And then the 16th, attended the primary care workshop in Penticton with Councillor Elliott. And then the 16th, I also attended the opening of the Traditional Music Festival. On the 19th, I welcomed Dr. Sirkan to the community as a locum. On the 20th, I went to Karamias, and we did a phone-in to the Highway 3 Coalition meeting with all the mayors and chairs across the Highway 3 from Hope to the Alberta border. Thought it was better to meet locally and call it in than drive all the way to Castlegar for an hour and a half. Then later that afternoon, I attended the Healthcare Steering Committee meeting. That was a very good meeting. We discussed the opioid crisis and mental health, and I guess IH's role and response.
Sure.
I guess that's a good way to put it.
Sure.
And I think the community and Interior Health aren't exactly on the same page as to what the response should be and what the level of commitment should be. I think that's a fair way to put it, eh?
Yeah, the agenda wasn't even touched.
Yeah.
That meeting. It was.
That was the first thing on the agenda, and we did that for 2.5 hours.
Yeah, it was great dialogue.
So it was a good dialogue. And then on the 28th, I attended the Community Forest Corporation meeting, and I also attended the lunch with BC Green. And that is my report. Okay. We have 3 letters in section 8 here, correspondence receive and file. 8.1 is a letter from UBCM, the 2019 Housing Needs Report Program Grant Approval Agreement. 8.2 is the Green Communities Committee. Congratulations for the effort to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. And number 8.3 is an email from Rebecca Matthews, Safe Communities for Electromagnetic Radiation Pollution. Can I get a motion to receive and file 8.1 to 8.3?
I'll make the motion.
Councillor Willis, seconder. Councillor Gould. Any questions, comments? All in favor? So moved. Okay, section 9, correspondence action requested. We have a letter from the Ministry of Forest, Lands, and Natural Resources Operations and Rural Development. Drought level 3 persistent in the Similkameen River watershed. We have a recommendation that the Town of Princeton implement stage 2 watering restrictions effective immediately until further notice.
So moved, Mr. Mayor.
Councillor Elliott, seconder.
I'll second.
Councillor Gould. Any questions?
Yeah, so what exactly does this mean compared to where we are now?
You'll see there is a press release that's going out, and you'll see what it means. So you have to cut back on on your watering of your grounds.
Okay.
And so that's what we'll implement if you guys approve this, so.
Okay.
Any other questions? All in favor? So moved. Thank you. 9.2, a letter from the Princeton Curling Club, recommendation that council approve the expenditure up to $10,000 for the repair of the roof on the Princeton Curling Club building, which is owned by the town of Princeton. So they need a new roof. Do we have a motion to that? Councillor Gould, seconder. Councillor Willis. Any questions? And I can assure you, we did check to see if we had the money, and it's there. All in favor? So moved. 9.3, Terry Fox Run 2019. We have a recommendation that council attend the 2019 Terry Fox Run on September 15th, 2019 as available, and that the mayor or delegate provide a few words at the start of the race. Motion to that. Councillor Willis, seconder. Councillor Gould. Any questions? I might not even be here.
I know I won't be here,
You
so
know,
if
yeah,
you need an
okay.
alternate, you'll need.
It might be you. All in favor? Doesn't know if he wants to vote for it now. 9.4, Crime Stoppers. Recommendation that the council attend the annual Crime Stoppers fundraiser at the Copper Mug Pub in Penticton on Saturday, September 21st, 2019, as available.
I'll make the motion.
Councillor Gould, seconder. Councillor Elliott. All in favor? Thank you. 9.5, letter from Bruce Gibbons, official request for action to prohibit the bottling of groundwater in the town of Princeton. Recommendation that the request for action to prohibit the bottling of groundwater in town of Princeton be referred to staff. Councillor Willis, seconder. Councillor Gould. Any questions?
Is there a lot of water bottled in right now?
We're unaware of any in this community.
Yeah.
In hope there's issues.
Yeah.
Because of Nestle, but yeah.
Or what?
Nestle, yeah. Any other questions? All in favor? So moved. Okay, number 10, bylaws and resolutions. 10.1, zoning bylaw amendment. Recommendation that bylaw number 965, 2019, Town of Princeton zoning amendment bylaw be read a third time.
So moved, Mr. Mayor.
Councillor Elliott, seconder. Councillor Willis, questions? All in favor? So moved. Thank you. Okay. 10.2, 2019 fees and charges bylaw amendment. Recommendation of Town of Princeton fees and charges bylaw amendment 3, bylaw number 966, 2019 be given third reading. Anybody?
So moved, Mr. Mayor.
Councillor Elliott, seconder. Councillor Willis, any questions, comments? All in favor? So moved. And 11, no, there's no new business. That brings us to agenda conclusion. Motion to close. Recommendation that the meeting be closed to the public for the purpose of considering acquisition, disposition, and expropriation of land and improvements if the council considers that disclosure could reasonably be expected to harm the interest of the municipality.
I'll make the motion.
Cool. Seconder, Councillor Elliott. Any questions? All in favor? So moved. Thank you. And thank you, everybody. And good night
Thanks for
out there
braving
in
the
TV
storm.
land.